Hello out there. Larry Ballard again. This is going to be a very different show than what I normally do. I just stuff that's so intense. I just kind of want to lighten it up because I'm going to be hitting you with some stuff over the next 4 weeks that's going to be mind-boggling. So what this is this is all stuff that's going to go away. It's all bad stuff. It's all stuff that's going to go away because the whistleblowers are coming out and God's getting ready to open people's eyes. And when we do, when we get those eyes opened, the truth is going to set us free. September is going to be the most exciting month probably of my lifetime and maybe of yours. So with that, I'm going to run through a litany of things that are going to be exposed in the next 30 to 60 days, resulting in a release of freedom on this earth and finances and healthcare, the likes of which we cannot even imagine. The whole truth is coming out. And when it does, the global financial elite are going to take a bath and we are going to get our freedom. Let's dig into it. So the first slide, this is the end game. I'm giving you the big picture. So over the next 3 or 4 weeks, you can keep this in mind and see this is what's coming. So here we're just going to hit these things, just bam, 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 bam. And in the next month, we're going to dig deep into them. So what we've been living under is chaos. The end game agenda of the global financial elite is to create order out of chaos. So they've caused riots. Well, let's look at what's happening. Those riots have been tamped down because Donald Trump is sending National Guards to Washington, to Chicago, to Baltimore, to Los Angeles, and people are able to go out and not fear getting carjacked, and kids are able to ride their bicycles. It's all happening. It's happening before your very eyes. And the destruction and the violence is going to be put under control, and fear is not going to be the prevalent thing that we feel in our lives anymore. We're going to feel happy and we're going to feel relieved, and it's all going to happen. And look down below, drugs. So what's happening with drugs? So Donald Trump has declared a national emergency and said all the cartels in the United States, in Mexico and Central America and in South America are all what? Now declared terrorist organizations, meaning that he can come in and begin the dismantling of them. So he's flying drones over Mexico, and he's got ships off the shore of Venezuela, and he is capturing the drug cartels, illegal drugs leaving Venezuela, and that's going to drive them into some very severe economic chaos. So all of those things and more are happening because Donald Trump is president and because the Lord is basically said it's now time to set the captives free. Let's go to the next slide, and we're going to break it down. All of the things you see on this screen that have enslaved us are soon to go away. The central banking system is going to go away. What has Trump said? We're going from a central banking system to a decentralized banking system. Think tariffs. The fiat currency, which is unconstitutional, according to 6 Supreme Court decisions, is going away. We're going to a new economic system backed by gold and backed by silver and other commodities, and operated on a blockchain that can't be controlled and manipulated. That means financial freedom is on the way. The illegal tax system is going to go away. Basically, we're not going to have federal income tax anymore. We're going to go back to the very tax system that we had when this nation was founded. It made it great. A simple 14% flat tax, period. All the other taxes are going to be obliterated. Orchestrated boom bust cycles will no longer be possible under the new economic system that is going to be ushered in the next few months. Usury credit cards, those are going away because they're also illegal because they're based on compound interest. So they suck you into this trap, and then you basically pay a penalty every single solitary month, taking you sometimes years to get out from under these debts. The mortgage take rights, there didn't used to be mortgage take rights, and again, there will not be. We were originally under a different system, a land grant system from Spain called a ODO ownership, and then they put in fee simple, and all of a sudden they can take your property. If they intentionally caused a financial collapse, caused you to lose your job, then there you were set up, and they just come and took your house. All of that's going away, and control of the necessities of life, that's going to go away. And what's that related to? That relates to what Trump said. Drill, 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 baby, drill. He's going to give us access to food, to water, to energy. And he's going to give us an unbelievable number of new technological innovations that are going to completely change the economic system. And the corporatocracy, for those who don't know what that is, it's going away. That's the collusion between the banks and the corporations and the corrupt political politicians. All of that is going away, I predict, before the end of this year. Let's go on to the next slide, and we're going to see another whole group of things that are going to go away. Basically, stolen elections. He's going to change the election system. He's going to put it on blockchain or on paper, whichever one, and the open borders. He's already closed the border. They said it couldn't be done, and all he had to do was just deploy some guards to the border and say there are consequences for crossing our border. The shadow government is being exposed. Look at what's happening. We've got now understanding that Hillary Clinton was behind the Russiagate scandal, and that Obama stepped in and changed the narrative. Both are guilty of treason, and we're going to find out all of the dirty stuff that's been hidden is going to become rushing out. And then one that's even bigger than that is what's happened with Act Blue. When we find out that our elections have been stolen, along with the elections of a total of 72 nations, don't you think the whole world is going to stand up? Don't you think the people are going to stand up and say, give us our freedom back? It's going to be just like what happened in Egypt. But it's not going to be one nation. It's going to be the nations of the world. And puppet politicians are going to be exposed. It starts at the very top with Hillary and Obama, and it goes on down. And when we're done and we find out the number of politicians that have been put in office, not by elections, but been placed there illegally, then our whole political system is going to change. I predict that maybe as many as 90% of the politicians currently in office around this country are going to be removed, because we'll find out that they were not elected. They are illegal implants put there not to protect the American people, but to put us into slavery, in control of all the spheres of influence. And what are we going to return to? What made us great? Patriotism, faith, and family values. That is what America was based upon. That's what made America great. And that is why God is going to use America again to restore those same things to every nation in the world. Every nation will have an opportunity to have freedom based on these fundamental principles. Let's go to the next slide. And this is something that is in the news just constantly, and people just don't understand it. That is the incursion of the illegals that came across, funded by GMOs, backed by the United States government, and basically put in place in order to enslave us. He has closed that border. He's now painting the fence black so that it's so hot that they can't touch it. So basically that threat is gone, but we have one that lingers. And what is that? That is a substantial number of those up to 20 million people across our borders following 2019 came here for purposes of insurrection. And so what's he doing? I think there's a very real reason why he's putting military in Washington and Baltimore and Chicago and Los Angeles, and supposedly possibly as many as 19 different cities, to make sure that as all this is disclosed and comes out and all these people are arrested, that we have the ability to keep those insurrectionists at bay and have minimal amount of damage that occurs as all of this comes down. So Donald Trump has been planning all of this since his first term, and God's hand is all over it. We are about to get our freedom. Let's go to the next slide. This is what we've been under, but this has been the new face of war for the last 20 years. Fear and terror, division, mind control, biologics, sterilization, genetics, surveillance, mass surveillance. It's all going to go away. All going to get exposed, and all of it is going to go away. In the next few weeks, we'll go down through everything that we've discussed in this presentation so far and drill down deep into it. We'll talk about election fraud. We'll talk about Nassari in detail. We'll talk about some of the scandals that are coming out. And at the end of the next 4 to 6 weeks, you'll have a really deep understanding of what's coming down, and you'll finally understand it's all possible. It's all real. We're winning. The global financial elite are about to be outed. And when they do, the American people and people around the world are going to stand up, and they're going to take their freedom back. So this is just an overview of what's to come, and it's been being staged for years, but we're finally at that point where Kim Clement, in my opinion, the greatest prophet that walked this earth in current times, basically said, he gave us the timeline. He said Donald Trump would be in president for 2 terms. There'd be an interruption in between. That was to give us the drip, drip, drip that opened everything up that you are seeing here and have been experiencing in the last few months. And then what he said, there'd be a summer of chaos. And then we come to the point we're approaching. That's the fall, where he said in the fall, there would be fall of the falls. Basically, all this exposure that's coming out, all this information that's being given to us, all these illegal acts that have been done are going to set up an opportunity for basically the fall of the global financial elite and restoration. So that's coming in the fall. And then as that happens, then we can free up the economic system and we can purge our government of maybe 75 to 90% of all those who have been put in office illegally. It's going to be amazing. And this is just the precursor of what's coming. Let's go on down. So this is what war used to look like. It was very simple. It was just they created a false flag event like they did in World War One and what they did with Vietnam and what they did with Arab Spring. They would cause regime change, and we would have perpetual wars that were designed to last for decades in order to collapse us. Well, that's still going on, but that's going to go away because that's being exposed. But I want you to see the other faces of war that have come out in the last few years, and they're also going to go away. So let's go to the next slide. And we see now that they're looking at things to give them plausibility to say we didn't do it. And that's directed beam energies that cause forest fires and under circumstances that seem a little strange, like what happened in Hawaii, where the houses with blue roofs didn't burn. Think about it. And then the bioweapons, and think COVID, and think Ukraine, and then the stolen elections. Think the election that was stolen from Trump, but go back. Think of the 72 elections that we're about to find out about that have been stolen in nations all around the world. And that means that we have all been controlled by political operatives that have been put in place to basically enslave us. They're going to be removed, and we're going to have 120 days in order to orchestrate new elections and actually have a new election system and vote in people that are people that stand for the republic and are going to pass laws that are going to benefit mankind. And we're going to get rid of thousands of laws that have been passed in order to enslave us. And look at what's happening with drugs. Look at that convoy of ships that are outside of Venezuela, basically confiscating their drugs. And do you think this hasn't been a crazy summer with hurricanes and tornadoes? And look at what's happening in China. Get on the internet and you'll see bridges just being washed away one after another after another. And while that's going on, you'll see fires in other places in China. God is moving his hand, and all of this is going to be exposed, and all of this too is going to be taken away. We are at that moment in time. We're at the Red Sea, where things are about to change forever, where slavery is about to end, where freedom is about to reign. So be of good heart and good cheer, because I'm telling you, it's all coming. It's all on the way. I know it's hard for people to believe. That's why I'm doing this kind of overview right now, just to get you geared up for the possibility that these things are coming and that we're going to get our freedom. Let's go to the next slide. And now we're in biologic warfare. So think of COVID, think of China, and think of Ukraine. And then I want you to ponder something. Why is that war in Ukraine really going on? Is Russia really the aggressor? Or is it possible that Ukraine is the money laundering capital of the world, that our corrupt politicians are up to their necks hiding things in Ukraine, and that it, along with China, are harboring bio facilities that were, in part at least, funded by the corrupt elements of the United States government? And then look over at Agenda 30. That starts with Agenda 21, and it starts with the Georgia Guidestones, and it's all a plan to control the necessities of life and a plan to create genocide, reducing the population, which is now nearly 8 billion, to 500,000 people. If that isn't If that isn't an act of war, I don't know what is. And then look down at the chromosomes and think the World Health Organization. When this is all said and done, we're going to be out from under the UN and all of its global governance organizations. That means we're going to be out from US aid. We're going to be out from probably even NATO, maybe not NATO, but out from under the World Health Organization and many other organizations that control us, that are funded by NGOs with money coming from the global financial elite. All of this is going away. Let's go to the next slide. And this is another component that we don't think about. That's war. We have been brainwashed since we were children. We've been censored. Look at the censorship that's going on. And Trump was the first one to stand up and call the news fake news. And look at what they did to your children in the schools. I mean, and that's all changing as well. So basically, they tell us that this is just a conspiracy theory, but now we know it's not. We know that what they do is they tell the truth mixed with a half-truth, mixed with an out-and-out lie, and then stir it all up, and to get us to the point that we have no place to go to get the truth, and we're utterly confused and utterly brainwashed. All of that is coming. I'm now, for the first time, I've been doing this for about 2 years, and I'm now finally able to be on YouTube, and I'm going on another platform that's going to have exposure around the world. Things are happening that could not happen. They're changing at lightning fast speed. We're on the horizon of the breakthrough that's going to set humanity free. And when that happens, here's what's going to happen. We're going to turn to God, and we're going to see to it that we are going to restore our foundations. We're going to restore patriotism. We're going to end the division. We're going to restore belief in God, and we're going to have spirituality that is going to just take over this entire world, and we're going to have the harvest of souls. We're almost done. I told you this is going to be a quick one. Let's go to the next slide. And this is just part of what I call a group of wanted posters. These people are all being exposed, everyone up there, and a myriad more. And as they leave, we're going to get the opportunity to have new elections and to bring in people that are not part of the shadow government, people that are Christians, people that believe in making America great again, and we're going to get back control. You're going to see governors taken out by the droves. You're going to see politicians removed by the truckloads. You're going to see judges be removed, and we're going to see our Constitution restored, and we're going to see a financial system that has enslaved us, a debt system being wiped out, and we're going to see the transfer of wealth that God has talked about in his Bible, and it's all coming. It's been in the process for years, for decades, but finally it's on the door. Let's go to the next slide. And all these things that you see in this next slide are also going away. We know in our heart of hearts, the central bank is private, and it has no intention except to leave the American public in a debt trap that we can never get out of. It's going to be eliminated, and the economy is going to have to collapse, but it's then going to rebound like you cannot believe, and we will have the greatest economic revival the world has ever seen. And the global shadow government, as I've been talking in this presentation so far, they're going to be exposed, and they're going to be removed, and we're going to get an honest government. And the corporations, think of what they've done to us with the medicines that they've given us, to the poisons they put in our food, to the things that they do to us every single solitary day to control us. You're going to see Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies go under like you can't believe. So if you got your money in the stock market, you might want to get it out. And we're going to find out that the military industrial complex, as Eisenhower said to us, they are corrupt. We need to be aware of them and afraid of them, because they are the ones that drive us into wars and then keep us in wars for decades so that they can make money selling munitions, and then afterwards they can make even more money rebuilding. So think of the Halliburtons and the BlackRocks. They're coming down too. And think of the United Nations. The United Nations, it took 3 efforts to get the United Nations passed, and it is nothing more than a global government entity that sits over all of the nations of the world and sees to it that we're suppressed, sees to it that corruption occurs, see to it that money laundering occurs, see to it that our food is contaminated and poisoned. All of that, is everything on that screen is going away, and going away quickly. Let's go to the next slide. And this, folks, is what it's been all about. The end game has always been to create order out of chaos. And have we been in chaos? I mean, to tell you, I was a child in the 50s, and the world was nothing like it is now. I could go out and ride my bike anywhere I wanted to go. I could play in the yard. I felt safe. People hitchhiked and felt safe. And now we've had just unbelievable things happen. It's all going away. So that's the last slide, other than to put up a slide to promote my book and ask you to buy it, because now is the time. God told me he'd keep me in the cleft of the rock until the very bitter end. And when that happened, he'd bring me out, and like that, everything would start to happen, and I would disclose the truth, and the truth would set people free. Now, I'm not the only one doing this. There are probably hundreds of thousands of us, but this book contains something that was given to me by God, and it's powerful. It tells you the truth of what made America great, and that's important, because if we don't know that, we might go through an economic uh, revival, but come out no better off than we were, because we won't have changed in our core and our hearts. So this book tells you what made America great, how we've systematically had it stolen from us, how we get it back, and the nation that we need to become, a nation founded on God, founded on love of our brothers, founded on anything but division. And then it tells us how we're going to keep it. So I urge you, please buy this book, because as we go through this metamorphosis and we come out of that cocoon to emerge as that beautiful butterfly, we'll be delicate. And if we don't know what a republic is, we don't know the difference between a democracy and a republic, we'll just slip right back into slavery again. So as I close, a republic to remind you, America is not a democracy. Our founding fathers called democracy mobocracy. And they said the very instant that those least willing are able to work, find out that they can take money from the public coffers, meaning the treasury, it was just a matter of time until the nation collapsed under a sea of debt. And that's where we're at. We're now at a point that, thanks to COVID, every nation in the world it's got the maximum amount of debt that they can handle. We've got $37 trillion, and Donald Trump is orchestrating a soft collapse. We have roughly $12 trillion that's due to be refinanced this year. And what is he doing? He's creating a set of circumstances that are going to allow the interest rates to be reduced. He's putting massive pressure on the Fed. That's going to keep us from having a major default when we refinance that $12 trillion. So now flip the side, and what is it? Well, by contrast, what is a republic? It is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. It requires that we be informed, meaning the truth, no more fake news, meaning you get out and you dig and you find the truth and you understand what your value system is and what the value system of the United States is. And when you go to vote, you vote your conscience. You don't vote for handouts, but you vote, you think about your brothers and sisters, your family members, your neighbors, and you vote for whatever is in the best interest of the mass of this nation and all the rest of the world, so that we can usher in peace and prosperity. If we continue to vote for politicians based on what they're promising to give us, we will be right back into the soup again before you can even snap your fingers. We have to have a metamorphosis with inside of our consciousness of who we are. We have to turn to spirituality. We have to turn to God. We have to think of our neighbors, and we have to come to the simple realization that if we harm another, ultimately we're harming ourselves, because we are bringing chaos on every person in this planet. We are on the brink of a spiritual revolution, an economic revolution, and a restoration of everything that God ever wanted us to have. We are going to be just like the Egyptians. We're going to come out of the slavery wealthy after the wealth transfer, and we're going to be talking about that in the next week or two. I'm going to dig deep into Nasara, but first I think I'm probably going to talk a little bit about the economic system, so you get some found grounding for what's coming. But you're going to see that everything that I've glossed over in this presentation is not hypothetical. It's not conspiracy theory. It's happening right now before your very eyes. Freedom is at the door, but we have to be willing to stand up, and we have to be willing to fight for it, and we have to change our whole ideology, and we have to embrace the end of division. We have to embrace brotherly love. We have to become that nation that God wanted us to be, that nation high on the hill that inspires the rest of the world. We have to be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. So with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. Oh, and please please subscribe. We have some incredible stuff coming forward in the next several weeks that you don't want to miss. Subscribe so that every time we release a video, you're able to get it. See you next time.